And this is a story. It's a story within a story. I was dealing. It was a thing I did with a cousin of mine. It was dealing in stolen property, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was back in the day when the Nokia Digital Plus phone had first come out,
Okay.
and everybody wanted one. So, at that time I was working at McDonald's off of 56th and Fowler, right?
Okay. Okay.
And this dude ran up to me. He said, "Yo, man, I got these cell phones and these credit cards." And I'm like, "Bro, I ain't finna mess with the credit cards, but the cell phone right there." So I got the cell phone, and I ended up paying, bro. I ended up paying $7 for that phone, right? $7. So I'm using the phone. I'm giving people my number. I'm telling them this is my phone. They calling me on the phone. See, back then, but still not. You had the star 69.
Right.
So that's how I got the number. I called me and I star 69. Got the number.
Okay.
So, but then whoever phone it was, they cut the phone off. And my brother told me, he said, "Dre, you need to throw that phone in the river or something, man." And he said, "Trust me, man, just get rid of it." I ain't want to get rid of it. So I ain't gonna say his name, but a close person of mine wanted the phone. And I said, "Bro, the phone ain't no good, right? The phone ain't no good. You ain't gonna be able to get it recrystallized because they turned the phone off. It's a stolen phone." I said, "So they're not gonna." I said, "If you take it to the store, they're gonna look it up and they're gonna find that the phone is stolen."
Okay.
I went in the back room and he took the phone from me and left the house.
Stole it.
He stole it from me, right?
Okay.
So then, make a long story short, I guess what happened is he sold it to somebody else, and that person went and tried to turn it on. When they tried to turn it on, they got on
Got booked.
him. He told on him, and then that person ended up saying that I was the originator of the phone. So we was at King High School, right, off of 56,
56.
56 and Sly,
Yep.
right,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he came and got me from the school, man. And come to find out, the phone belonged to a retired police sheriff's wife. And the detective told me the only reason why they even really put time into it was because of that. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
So I spun, but here's the thing. So I had a felony on my record, right? But I didn't even understand. I didn't understand what Judge Heinrich did, right? He withheld adjudication of guilt. You familiar with that? All right,
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't understand what that meant until about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
You understand? So all that time I had been living life as though I was a convicted felon,
Yeah.
not knowing that in the state of Florida, when they give you a withhold of adjudication, that you don't, even though it's on your record, you don't have to live under the consequences of a person that has actually been convicted. Know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
So
that
it registers in the judicial system. But for those who don't know what withhold is, and that's just one of those last chance, second chance programs that this state, that's what they call it. Our county call it withhold adjudication. But pretty much everywhere they have that next step, next
that's right.
chance.
Like Pete, something like that.
Right. So in every difference, I've been locked up some everywhere, and there's always some type of second chance, something. That's our version, and it withholds whatever felony, because usually those are felonious charges.
Yeah,
And once they, you're at that first, okay, you got one more shot before we start sentencing you to probation and all of that stuff. We'll plead guilty and we'll withhold that adjudication. So you're guilty with us, we know, but you can go out and fill out and check the box for no, I haven't been
exactly.
of a felony. But you didn't know that. That's interesting. So all this time you've been filling out or avoiding certain jobs
Yeah,
because wow,
so it's
wow,
like, whereas scripturally it says that our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? So
yep,
I was actually I was actually living my life under the auspices that there's certain jobs that I can't get. So don't even try. There's certain
Don't even
things that
try.
I can't do. So don't even try. And it wasn't until like 3 years, maybe 3 years and 5 months ago, when I went to call and clear up the last little piece of fine that I had like $78 I had to pay. And when I called the clerk, she said, man, you know, the judge withheld adjudication of guilt. And I said, well, what does that mean? She said, well, that means that you still have your right to possess a weapon and you still got your right. I said, wait a minute. I said, I could buy a pistol. She said, yeah. She said, you didn't, that's what that means. I mean, you know, where I live now is in South Carolina, and South Carolina is kind of like this. I don't know if every state's like this, but I know that if you even go and try to fill out the paper for a weapon, and you knowingly know that you're not supposed to have a weapon, they can charge you for that.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. I've been a felon for a very long time.
Yeah,
So those privileges and shots at the that don't doesn't apply to me. Hasn't applied to me for a very long time.
yeah,
But and I'm a big gun activist. Like I feel like a grown man is supposed to own a weapon to protect his, because I'm a big advocate of what a man's responsibility is supposed to be.
facts.
Not
Me
not
too.
a jit, not a jit, not a male that is of age like a man, you know.
Yeah,
But and not just 18, over 18. I don't even know what the age limit is for weapons. I know that I've had weapons in my home from very young. And I know my dad at a very young age was like, here you go. This is what a gun is. This is how you break it down. This will kill you. When you play with this, it will hurt you and kill you. If you play with this, there is no forgiveness.
that's right.
Like when you want to see it, you're curious about it. Me and you can hang out. We'll close the door away from the mom, and you can hold the gun and all of that. But this is not a toy. This is a weapon that is meant to kill people. And
That's
that
right.
was laid out to me very early. Consequently, I never had the urge to go and play with the gun as young. Like that thought never crossed my mind. Let me go run and ain't nobody home. I'm finna, go in the mirror and do whatever. That never crossed my mind. That was like something that I knew exactly where it was, or they were. I knew where they were. I just didn't mess with them. That just wasn't. That was one of those adult things that. But I think that's the problem with family and raising kids and raising a man. You know what I mean? Like it's communication. Stuff is so simple with where we go wrong as like a family, as a community, as a culture.
Mm,
It doesn't take complex algorithmic breakdowns and social studies. Yeah, I think stuff is bare root, and it starts with the very, very simple things like you need a man and a woman to raise a child, and you need to raise that child consistently. The iPad can't raise your child like you have to. There's a lot of things that have been taken out of raising kids these days that
that's the difference.